You are listening to a Cult Talk Network podcast.
Welcome, everyone, to Cult of Campbell. I'm Ty.
I'm Eric.
I'm Bailey.
And I'm Ben.
Hey, you got it in there.
Ursa's not here.
2-year anniversary is starting off in a positive way.
2-year anniversary.
Yeah, this is the Cult of Campbell 2-year anniversary special. 2 years, guys. We've been doing this podcasting, not just Cult of Campbell, just we've been podcasting for 2 whole years now.
Time flies, man.
Yeah, it certainly has spread from Cult of Campbell.
Oh,
absolutely. So
we should call it Campbellitis.
Yeah.
That,
that sounds like something. I don't know if I'd want or not. I don't know.
No.
The original episode of Cult of Campbell. Well, first off, we are doing today, as part of our 2-year anniversary, our very first Certified Groovy we ever had in Cult of Campbell.
Oh, yeah. It was the first one.
It was the very first one. 2002's Bubba Ho Tep.
Yeah.
The quintessential Elvis versus Mummy movie of this generation.
Quintessential.
Is it
Quintessential.
Is it the only one?
I mean, that might be why it's quintessential.
It's quintessential.
If it's the only one
Can
in
you
topic.
think of a better movie about Elvis versus a mummy?
Yeah,
No,
put it in the comments
that's
below.
true.
If you give us your top 3 in the comments below.
There we go. Yep. I want to read those lists. I really do.
This came out, Cult of Campbell, Bubba Ho Tep. It came out on day 1. We did a double release to kick off our premiere, and they released on May 10th, 2021.
Wow.
Is when they came out. This came out alongside Evil Dead 1981. And Eric, what did we rate Evil Dead?
It was I remember it being a split.
What was it?
I remember
It
there
was a split.
Yeah.
For a minute, yeah, for briefly.
It was not certified groovy.
It was not certified groovy.
No, his acting that is terrible.
It's questionable.
And somebody let him go in front of a camera without waxing that bushy fat in between his eyebrows. And then they did close-ups on it.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you want to make sure that you can count the hairs connecting that motherfucker across the bridge? Here you go. Why?
Now,
Why do
we
that to
did
him?
we did a double feature release for our premiere, which was an idea I had early on to release, multiple episodes as our day one. Do you know what our very first day one lineup was that we agreed upon before we started actually thinking of the logistics of it?
No.
Thinking of the logistics of it.
Yeah, I think you had actually spoken to Whitney, and she had mentioned to you that that's kind of a lot of stuff to release in one day.
Right.
And you relayed to me the more we thought about it, we were like, that is a lot. So the original day one, I went through some old group chats and I found some messages and things like that. The original lineup.
Did you go?
I went back far.
Oof.
The
2 years of
original
history, baby.
2 years. The original lineup for Cult of Campbell day 1 release was Bubba Ho Tep, Evil Dead, the Bruce Campbellites Ramy trilogy, which was an idea we had early on of these episodes that would just focus on cameos.
Hey,
It's a marketable name. It's a marketable name. We were going to release and we actually, fun fact, Eric, Urs, and I actually recorded that episode.
Oh,
Remember? And it was really awkward. It was it was short. It didn't we couldn't get the structure down, and we ended up canning that. I don't know where that is. That's a lost episode of Cult of Campbell.
Michael's got it.
Yeah.
Don't you dare say it's
Probably.
lost.
Yeah.
Probably.
No. It's in the hands of the Hinty now.
Yeah, it was. We actually sat down and recorded that episode, and it just did not click. Then, in the same day, we were also going to release Hercules: The Legendary Journeys, Season 2, Episode 1. Also, Xena, Season 1, Episode 17. And to cap off this single day premiere event, we were going to put out The Man with the Screaming Brain.
Oh.
Wow.
6 episodes in one day we had planned.
In one day.
You know what, though?
Cow.
At least we'd have got rid of that clusterfuck from the get-go.
Do you think?
We'd have made putting this show together a whole lot harder, because even the time we released Xena and Hercules in one day, it really fucked us over. It took away a lot of content content. kind of shorten the lifespan on this show a little bit. So,
Did it really shorten the lifespan, Ty? Because I don't feel like it's shortened very much.
Because it's a show that
2 years. 2
I feel
years.
like we're in Pet Cemetery here.
Oh, absolutely.
it certainly makes sense that it would continue to rise from the dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have tried to put this podcast to bed twice now.
Yeah, twice. We had actually had. I remember one time we actually had a call where I was even like, we can start, pumping the brakes on Cult of Campbell, because I think it was we had a show that was going pretty strong. We had Eric and Ben. We're getting ready for Cult of Lore. Bailey and I were getting ready for Cult Talk Conspiracy.
Yeah.
And we were just like having a hell of a time scheduling Cult of Campbell. I remember us having a call where I was like, we can kind of pump the brakes, and then randomly, like a week later, we get a message on Instagram of like, hey, we're doing this thing called Bruce Fest. Do you guys want to join? And we were like, well, we can't.
We can't not.
We can't not. So, 'cause I remember the very first message I got from Selena was even like, we hear you're the only Bruce Campbell podcast around. We'd love that. And I was like, man, well, can't really slow down now.
Back to work.
So,
It also-
and it amped us back up
It
again.
definitely slowed down Cult of Russell.
Oh, yeah, that's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
Yeah, it definitely
We
did.
started that, and this thing's just like, clip.
Yeah. Like Bruce is ready
definitely
to
did.
on a marathon.
Multiple times. Now this show like gets like 300 downloads a month, something like that. I mean,
Wow.
it's
Reverse Terry
insane.
Schiavo.
It's insane. Like, yeah, it is reverse Terry Schiavo. If you look at if you go on our podcast hosting platform, you'll just see it's like a steady just rise. Like every month it's just like more. It's insane.
And then it's when Evil Dead Rise gets closer and closer.
At this point, Evil Dead Rise will release, so hopefully we have some new listeners that are just now finding out about that we have 2 years of content. That's the great thing too.
Welcome to the show, guys.
Welcome to the show. Mike and I will be looking at the statistics, and like you'll just see like randomly one day there'll be like 100 and some downloads, and I'm like, just one or two people found the show, and it's just it's just a back catalog that it just goes into a frenzy.
Yeah, and it just makes me wonder if they like decided to watch like the Evil Dead movies or revisit one of them, or if they were started streaming someplace and that got some people interested in them again, or what was the triggering event like that?
Bubba Ho Tep, Ash vs. Evil Dead El Jefe, which is our like pilot episode, and Evil Dead 1981 and Evil Dead 2, like consistently, like every time I go check, those 4 episodes are always there. And for some reason, there's a weird one that always comes up. Shit. McHale's Navy, for whatever reason, is always in there.
Yeah, that one does. I don't know. I don't understand why. Yeah.
Because it's a goddamn great movie. That's why.
That must be why.
Yeah,
because people love Tom Arnold.
That's what it is. Yeah.
A good movie.
Yeah. Cult of Arnold coming soon.
Cult of Arnold.
We'll watch McHale's Navy and then that babysitting movie he had in the 90s where he was in the minivan.
Did you say True Lies?
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Ooh.
He was in True Lies.
Yeah.
I do have some interesting dates because, I'm kind of a sentimental person. I like to look at dates and when things happen. So I have some interesting dates here that might be cool to hear.
Okay.
So February 10th, 2021. Do you know what that day was?
February 10th, 2021?
Yes.
Do you want us to guess?
I'll go and tell you.
Okay.
That was the day we recorded our very first beta episode on my iPhone, Jurassic Park.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Is that a lost episode?
No, very
do
much
we
so.
still have that?
I found it in the group chat. Mike put the file in the group chat.
Shit.
Wow.
March 17th, 2021. That was the day we bought our podcasting equipment. Our pod track, our mics, everything got bought on March 17th, 2021.
Oh my gosh.
As of to this day, we are still using.
As of this day.
Did we really do that on St. Patrick's Day?
Apparently, it was the day after, I think. Right? 17th?
17th?
No,
17th. Yeah, 17th. Yeah, that's when I bought it.
Wow. That's why we've been so lucky.
I had to go through my my Amazon orders.
You are quite the record keeper.
I
know
am.
just how to find
April 6th, 2021. That was the day that we recorded Evil Dead 1981.
Ah, wow.
The day you gave it a not groovy, remember?
No. I gave that a groovy.
It's not groovy. It's not okay. Once again,
Quality of Campbell.
For the people in the back, it is not groovy if you're rating it solely on the base of Bruce Campbell's performance.
which is how we do movies.
I object to this rating system, but that's what we go with.
Yep.
At the end of the
You
day.
object to it, but you still abide by it. So thank you.
It's your show, Skippy. It's not mine. If we were over on Cult of Lore, you'd have an 8-star system with 9 different categories
Now, hold on.
with 15 different angles. So
Wait a
don't
minute.
you fuck with me. I'll bring it all in.
Hold on now.
And future Eric will edit, cut, and ship every part of it.
Wow.
Yeah,
wait.
but-
Hold on. I don't like it. No. Oh, God.
April 10th, 2021 was the day that we recorded Bubba Ho Tep for the first time, which would be for Eric and Ben the very first day they watched Bubba Ho Tep.
Yeah.
It was. And you know what?
Glorious day.
I held off watching it again until this very day.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic.
Because we knew that, because immediately after our reaction the first time watching it, Ty was pretty upfront early that we were going to revisit this soon.
Right.
Again. So I did not want to touch it again until it was time to re-record. Because I wanted time to, I didn't want time to sit and think on it and study it and maybe change my mind and stuff. Normally I would, but for this one, I wanted to see if it still holds up.
Right.
Just as fresh as you can be.
Eric and I unfortunately didn't have a chance to hold off because we watched Bubba Ho Tep with Bruce Campbell. So we had to make an exception.
Aw,
We had to make an exception for
what a
Well, I
hardship.
mean, listen, there's times and then there's times.
yeah, there's times. Now, Bubba Ho Tep, it seems to be a movie we all enjoyed. But we haven't watched, and not everything we've watched on Cult of Campbell's been great. So I wanted to ask you guys, what's been your worst experience on Cult of Campbell?
Oh, I know.
So let's remove Menno's mind since we didn't technically finish it.
Okay, that's fair.
That is fair.
We'll start with you, Bailey. Bailey, you go.
Mind warp.
Mind Warp.
That
Okay.
was so bad.
Okay.
I don't understand it. I still could not tell you what that movie's about.
My worst experience was Mike actually made me watch The Last Kids on Earth, which Bruce is in for like a minute and a half or whatever. And it was like a Sunday. We didn't have a release for the next day. We weren't supposed to have a release for the next day. And for whatever reason, Mike's like, we got to have something out so I can do this ad or whatever. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I wasn't into it. He sat me down and watched his show, and it could not have been more of a stupid cartoon. I don't know who this show's made for because it was just dumb. And he made me sit down and watch it. And you can even tell in the episode, I listened to the episode back. I always listen to them when they come out. I'd listen to them on the way to work. I was like, I am just not even, you could tell I was
So
removed
over it.
from it. I just did not enjoy it at all. That was by far because I can usually make, chicken salad out of chicken shit most times. But that was one of the rare instances where I couldn't even work my possum magic on it. I was just so out of it. What about you, Eric?
I listened to that. I listened to that episode. That was, you did sound pretty over it. Michael tried a little bit.
Mike enjoys shows made for like little girls. I don't know what it is. He critiques all my stuff, but if it's a show that's geared toward like little like girls in high school, little goth girls in high school, Mike is just like he loves it, but he'll still talk about my taste and stuff. I guess taste is all about perspective. It's all.
Oh yeah,
Oh, Jesus.
What about you, Eric? What's been your worst experience on Cult? Because you've been with me on a lot of episodes. I think
yes.
Out of everyone, it's been you're probably
basically the
second up.
co-host.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, that's true. I think the slow descent of the Ash versus Evil Dead series that we put ourselves through for a while, because like there were a lot of good things I liked about that show. We just kind of, I don't know, that working our way through. I remember by that last episode, it was kind of like, oh man, another one. We have to watch another one.
I feel like if maybe we were fatiguing ourselves in this.
I think that's exactly what that was.
Because I remember watching that series when it was out, like as it was, week by week basis, and the season breaks and all that, and like really enjoying it. And then on the time we had to watch it, because we were really trying to do that weekly upload thing. And there was weeks where it's like
exactly what it was. We were just
there was days where we record. Yeah, there was days where we watch and record like 3 episodes of Ash vs. Evil Dead in a row. Right. I kind of often wonder if it was just fatigue, because I haven't been able to watch it since then. And when it first came out, I loved it. Yeah.
No, I think that's exactly what it was. I think we burned ourselves out on it pretty quickly, because we were also doing like regular Cult of Campbell episodes on top of that. We were just packing a lot of Campbell in.
We were.
But yeah, I remember that. It was kind of a descent into madness for me.
What about you, Ben?
No, it was Ash versus Evil Dead, and you're both fucking wrong. It had nothing to do with Campbell. That show refused to do anything more than draw dicks on a paper like a high schooler. Like I remember, like, I was teetering on the edge with that goddamn show, and then they killed the dad, and that was it for me. That was it. That was the last vestige of any interesting thing with a character whatsoever. They had completely decided to not move Pablo anywhere. He's super cuck, wonder cuck, master of the cucks, elected president of Cucktopia. Like, and that's where that motherfucker's gonna stay. Kelly, she's PMSing so hard that she just shoots bullets out of an unlimited gun. And it doesn't matter who she hits, how many times she hits, even though she gets her ass knocked down for it. She doesn't learn any lesson. So that's where she stays. Ruby's gonna be ambiguous. Ooh, is she a good guy? Is she a bad guy? She came out as a bad guy, but she's still kind of a good guy. I wonder if she's gonna straddle the line like a fucking hoe on a car. But like, finally, they do something with Ash and his dad. He's like, all right, here's a chance to get some sort of glimmer into why anybody in this show is the way they are. Who, like something. And they're like, nah, fuck it. It might actually slow our show down for 4 seconds. We might actually have to stop with the gore and the splatter just to do an inkling of some sort of character development. And that's why that show felt like such a slog. It was the same shit over and over and over again, no matter what situation they put him in. Any sort of tension or any sort of work whatsoever, or do we just literally fling poo at them?
Well, if it makes you feel better, he comes back. He comes back later in the season.
I don't care. Who cares? Who cares? Who gives a shit? He's probably the exact same. He's probably just that.
Yeah, I think
he was going to confess something to his son. Now he's dead and come back. I bet he's a deadite, so he's just a dick again. Like,
a deadite dick.
Like, oh my God, that show, like the first season, it's fine to do all of that because you're trying to get people on board, but you have to go somewhere with them. And they just didn't. They refused.
Very true. Yeah, it did wear a little thin when we was watching it just in succession multiple times.
That was it for me because I could watch any movie, any bad movie, I could watch it and then I'm done with it. But to be molested by that show over and over again, to have some sort of hope that they would change, like a kid with an alcoholic parent, just to be let down by it again and again. I refuse to be in romantic relationships that are that abusive.
You remember that scene where he gets his head pulled into a butt?
That was good.
That was actually a pretty good scene.
The Deadite car, that was good. The Delta was.
See, all of this would have been good if these were special.
Yeah, I agree.
But they weren't special.
I agree.
Gross shit is every 30 seconds, so there's nothing good about it because it's just bogged down by all the monotony of it. I agree that the him getting shoved into the thing's ass was the butt. That was fucking hilarious. But I just couldn't give into it because every other time that kind of shit came at the cost of any sort of character movement. And it's like, okay, Evil Dead is a splatterfest. But if you're going to do a show that has multiple seasons, you got to give the characters something to do, man.
I feel like the first season, that's pretty solid.
Yeah,
the first 10 episodes, the first season's pretty solid.
Yeah.
If it ended, I know why they ended the way they did, so they could lead it
Carry
more.
on.
But if they could have they could have ended that series and with more finality, had him actually destroy the book. I mean, that'd have been a solid 10-part.
Yeah, I didn't like him fucking off the Florida.
Yeah,
I did not like him fucking off the Florida.
It's Jacksonville, man. City's so nice, they named it Jacksonville.
No, that show pissed me. That show made me. That's why I actually stopped volunteering to be on Campbell for a while. I was just like, I can't. I'm so goddamn every time I watched it, it didn't matter what we were watching. I just start ranting about Ash versus Evil Dead because it's just this investment.
I gave you an opportunity to do it one last time. Yeah, now we don't talk about Ash versus Evil Dead ever again.
Right until Evil Dead Rises pops up and they're like, Ash versus Evil Dead season 5.
Well, they are talking about an animated Ash series. So I don't know what that entails. But
See, animated could be cool because you could do stuff.
Yeah, that you couldn't live.
See, I would love to see in the animated if they took Ash into the Deadite dimension.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Oh yeah,
do a little Ash or Doom Ash edition would be cool.
That'd be cool. There are a lot of badass Ash comic books that they could adapt. They won't do any issues. Because that's the reason he quit doing Ash is because he can't do like the physical stuff anymore.
Right. Yeah.
And that's why he's doing like taking the the more like dramatic roles and the Hallmark movie stuff because he just can't do physical shit. So
right.
I can see animated would be a good way to go because he does.
I think so.
He does quite a bit of voice acting.
Oh yeah, his voice is still good.
What about your best time? We'll say aside from Bubba Ho Tep because we're not going to beat a dead horse. We're here to talk about Bubba Ho Tep, so we don't need to talk about it more than we already are. So Eric, what was your best time on Cult of Campbell?
Best? Oh, it's so hard to choose the best. Okay.
The best.
Man.
Because you came into it out of all of us, I'd say you probably knew the least about Bruce and the movies he's in and what to expect from the Evil Dead series.
Coming in, I had probably seen the least Bruce Campbell movies out of all of us except Bailey, probably.
Yep.
That's all movies.
That's movies in general. Yeah.
That's not a hard bar to like pass.
No. But that's So I had a lot to learn, and it has been quite a journey. And now I've probably seen way more Bruce Campbell movies than most people have.
You've shared the stage with Bruce Campbell.
I shared the stage with Bruce Campbell.
Having no idea, having
consciousness during that period of time.
Oh, I know. I wasn't sure if that was going to be your worst moment when you were, 5 seconds after we stepped off stage and you had a panic attack. I thought that might have been your worst, the worst time you've had on.
Just because I'm in abject terror doesn't mean I'm not also having a good time.
That was the wildest thing. It's like we got off stage, everything seemed fine. We shook hands, parted ways. Me, Mike, and Eric got the car to go get dinner, and like as soon as we get in the car, Eric just like disintegrates. He just he just falls to pieces. Like he's fine inside the inside the concert hall when we're meeting Bruce and all that stuff. Well, he was shaking the whole time on stage, and it didn't say a whole lot. But we got off stage. He was fine. We shook hands with people, said hi to the people we knew. Walked the parking lot out the car, and as soon as we got in the car, he just fell apart. It was wild to see. It was
crazy to think that me on the stage, like in that condition, was me holding it together. Huh?
I think that's what it was. It's like a nuclear. It's like a bomb when it's like it can't explode. It's like shaking and trembling. It's being held in, and then we get out the car, and finally all the bolts pop off, and steam shooting out. Yeah,
Eric's just one of those guys that you elect to be like the representative of your business, not because you think that they're going to do well or represent you well, but just because you want to see what happens to them when they're in that position. It's like, why would we put him on stage in front of people? Well, we'd like to see if he passes out or not.
Well, the thing it was, like I told Mike later, I was nervous as hell the whole time. I was scared the whole time, but I didn't have the luxury afforded to me to be scared because I was like, if I fall apart, this thing really goes off the rails. So
gone. Eric running naked through the streets in a panic.
Yeah, because as soon as we get backstage, Bruce and Ted come up and we're there with just them, and I was nervous, but I was I just click in and be like, all right, guys, I'll come out. I kind of just laid out the plan of how things were going to go, just took the lead on it, and the whole time I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing? What are you doing? Yeah. Telling these people where they're, I was just, I'll come out, then he'll come out, and then Ted, Bruce, you come out, then we'll save Ted for all that. I'm just like, what? In my whole head, I'm just looking at myself back, what the fuck are you doing?
I appreciate that they're wearing tuxedos and you guys look like you're homeless.
They look sharp the whole weekend.
It's like, whoa, Jesus. They could have told us that they were going to wear tuxes. We might have been able to pull that shit together.
Yeah,
they had tuxes the whole weekend.
Yeah, they look sharp the whole weekend.
We actually speculated that was why Ted didn't shake Eric's hand.
Because he's like, are they just patrolling to the dumpsters to get these fuckers out?
What the hell?
But next year we're sending you guys in style. Although I bet next time they come in hula skirts or some weird.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
So Ben,
I am just proud of you for holding it together until you got to the car.
Oh
Eric.
My god, yeah,
I am
it was
so
wild.
proud.
Squawky bird noises or anything like that.
It was wild.
You handled that exactly the way I would have. Fake it till you make it. Just keep going.
There wasn't much fake.
I prefer the entertaining round. Just watch it. Watch them go.
Because I don't know what Eric said aside from introducing himself. I don't think you said anything the whole time.
I remember. I said something like, I remember Bruce said something like to us, like, you guys don't have to, blah, 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 whatever. I don't remember. I blanked it out. And I was like, making our job easy for us, huh? And he turned away from me. I remember that.
He was probably like, you guys don't have to be nervous. And you're like, yeah.
No, I think he said you guys don't have, you probably said something along the line. Like, you guys don't have to fill the dead air.
Right.
He was
very like reassuring, kind of like, oh, we got this sort of,
Well, I mean, and another thing, something that I would have a hard time keeping in mind is that the audience aren't there to listen to you.
Exactly.
Oh, absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I would have a hard time because I'm a ranter. So I would have a hard time reining that in and people would be pissed. So it's like,
so it is very
you have to be conscious of not overseeding your bounds because people have paid good money to hear them talk.
Oh,
right.
Yeah. Like, and one of the things too,
on that stage,
there's definitely etiquette for it.
One of the things too, before we got up there, they tell us, because everything's scheduled out the whole weekend, like everything's like scheduled, and we're getting ready to go out there, and the guy tells me, he's like, hey, they have to be here right after this is over. So I'm going to come up and I'm going, kind of gesture to you. And when I do that, no matter what they're doing, you just cut them off and end the show so they can get to their thing. So,
sure.
And at the time, I'm like, oh yeah, okay. And then we get up there and Bruce just starts going on his thing, and like the guy comes up and he like does a thing like twice to me. He comes up and he like puts his hand like in his sleeve and like kind of wags his finger at me to like cut him off. Yeah. So like he does it like 3 times, and I just look at him, just like I just look over. I'm like, I'm not doing anything. I'm not. Because Bruce just up there just going, and people are like engaged, and I was
like, who the fuck do you think? Like, does he honestly think you got a bulletproof vest on? You're gonna piss off that crowd by cutting him off?
Could you imagine if Bruce up there was talking? I was like, hey, that was great. All right, guys, let's go.
Hey, Bruce, I know this is your convention, but why don't you shut the fuck up? We're moving on.
Yeah.
Like, no.
It's like, are you mad?
Yeah, that's not how that works at all.
Oh man.
If they told me that, I'd be like, no.
I'll do it.
I'll sit off stage. Thank you.
Well, I shook my head because I was like, I was just ready to get up on stage, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah.
And we got there. I was like, there is no way. There is not a chance in hell I'm cutting this guy off.
Nope.
Right?
Nope.
It's like you're at Star Wars convention and Mark's going on about playing Luke Skywalker. You're like, hey, that's fascinating, Mark, but we got to talk later, brother, later.
Oh, God.
I'm sure these people that have paid $300-$400, whatever it is, they'll catch up with you some other time.
Yeah, totally.
So what about you, Ben? What's been your favorite part of Cult of Campbell? Aside from Bubba Ho Tep.
So Evil Dead 2 is probably my favorite piece of media that we've covered. But for overall favorite experience was probably My Name is Bruce.
Yeah, that was
fun to watch with people and record.
Yeah. That's what we'll definitely have to do one of these revisits for, I think, at some point.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Now that one makes a lot of sense to revisit because it's got a lot of references and callbacks in it. So
because I always just remember that scene where we were all together and he's running backwards, shooting at the list, and he's just hitting all the townspeople.
people.
Every time he hit somebody new, Eric was just screaming. He's like, "Stop! What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh my God, he's killing these people!"
I forgot about that scene.
And
it's like, what the fuck, man?
And then the Ted Raimi
trio, the Ted Raimi ethnic trio.
Yeah, that was. So that was just fun to watch and record. So that was probably my favorite time. That was a good time.
That's awesome.
I want to go back and listen to that episode now. That sounds.
So Bailey, we were all part of the Cult of Campbell from the get go. First episode, May 10th. You actually joined the show on March 1st. 2022 as part of Congo. So since then, what has been your favorite part? So I don't think you've been on that many episodes, but what's been your favorite part about Cult of Campbell?
Favorite part, probably just in general, the fact that I've gotten to watch more movies and kind of explore more because there's a whole universe for Bruce Campbell.
Yes.
Favorite things that I've watched from Cult of Campbell would probably be the 2 Christmas episodes. The first Christmas episode I wasn't on. Okay. That was when we did the episode of the Librarians.
Yeah, that was myself and Eric.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. And where he played Santa Claus.
Yep.
I wasn't on that, but we still watched it all together. And that was a really, really just fun thing that Bruce Campbell did.
Yeah.
And then the next one is probably the next Christmas episode, which was the Hallmark film.
One December Night. That was a
One
great
December
flick.
Night. It was such a feel good movie, and I went in not wanting to do it because I'm like, oh fuck, it's a Hallmark film. Like,
I think
great.
that's everyone's. That seems to be everyone's consensus. Even when people I've talked to on Tales from the Cult and people at Bruce Fest, is the amount of people who like I would ask what their favorite movie was aside from Bubba Ho Tep or Evil Dead, and they would say One December Night. It's insane. Mm-hmm. These like hardened horror people, they'd just be like, I wasn't sure about it, and I watched it. It's like a really good movie. Like,
Listen, we have a sappy side.
I do love it. It's like one of my new Christmas favorites now. I gotta find it on DVD. But my favorite part has been just the show in general. I mean, I don't know, getting to show all my friends Bubba Ho Tep and Evil Dead 2, and even making people watch Maniac Cop and our Alien Apocalypse, and
dragged us into the trash bin with you.
Exactly.
I mean,
so fun.
Yeah, but also like Bubba Ho Tep is like his golden victory.
It really is.
Yeah,
it is. I got Bubba Ho Tep.
That's his trump card.
That is.
It's
so
true.
Before we go on to our next segment,
I a little bit of trust. Sorry.
Exactly. Before we go for our next segment, what were your thoughts when I pitched you guys Cult of Campbell? Like, what were you thinking? Because like we had all, I think, collectively, individually, probably at some point been like, oh, we'd like to do a podcast. I want to do a podcast at least, I know Ben had been wanting to do a podcast for a while. Eric had for a while. And it didn't happen until somehow I roped you guys into doing a Bruce Campbell podcast. So what were your thoughts when, because it still baffles me that I was actually able to talk you guys into doing this. It is. It's like, well, it worked. Hell, fuck. We got a Bruce Campbell podcast.
We did it.
I got a Bruce Campbell podcast now. What were your thoughts when I first pitched the Cult of Campbell?
For me, it was I'm down. I like to talk about everything. So as long as I can be interested in it, I'll sign up to be on something about it, barring politics right now because hot.
Right.
But when it comes to like movies and stuff, I'll be on it. I'll talk about it. So for me, it was I had never considered Bruce Campbell as a podcast subject, but I was down. And you're cheesy enough to make it work, so why not?
What about you, Eric?
So for me, I was excited because it was like, okay, again, there had been all these, kind of talk and thoughts on doing podcasts and stuff before. So it was, and we'd worked together on like creative projects with you before. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I know Ty's a good one to work with, and so that's good. And he's got a plan. He's preaching about the niche, the niche, and you came up as a Bruce Campbell fan. So because that was one thing I had a bit of a feeling of like, am I some kind of imposter being on a Bruce Campbell podcast when I hadn't really like been, too much of a Bruce Campbell fan.
No, the journey is great.
Yeah. That's ultimately what I decided is like this, that justifies me being on this. Is like,
absolutely.
I'm here to learn.
You're the canary.
Yeah. I'm the
absolutely.
Canary.
Absolutely. If you look at Eric has a pretty nice arc in this show.
Yeah, I was going to say character arc. Absolutely.
Yeah. I do, don't I?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I got a character arc, guys.
You do. Like, I mean, legitimately, like not knowing that much about Bruce to all of a sudden you're sharing the stage with Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
And being represented as one of the like foremost like Bruce Campbell experts like on stage with him. Like,
we did. I don't recall that ever being a claim anywhere. I'll say Eric from that one. That was never.
That's how they presented us the whole weekend. They presented us as like, we know more about Bruce Campbell than anyone. That's how they presented us the whole weekend we was there. So.
Oh, well, boy, you showed them that when we had because on that episode we had a trivia game, for the audience. Ty was asking them questions about Bruce, and they turned it on him. They turned it around on Ty and tried to stump him. And yeah, he held his own. It was great. It was like Thermopylae. It was amazing.
A bunch of sweaty naked men fighting other men. Sounds like Thermopylae to me.
They could not get him.
Bruce Fest next year.
We had to let him have a cheap one just so that it would end. Because
I had this gift card I had to give away, and I kept asking them questions, and no one was getting them. I'm like, I gotta give this fucking gift card away. So someone's got to get something right, or then we turn it on. Well, if you can get me to guess wrong, then I'll give you the gift card, and that's how we had to do it.
I said cheap. I didn't mean cheap, but definitely tricksy. It was a tricksy question. Yeah,
a tricky one.
We had to get him with some wordplay. Yeah.
She was fantastic.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, she was.
We'll
she was
see her
great.
next year.
Oh, absolutely. She was fantastic. So Cult of Campbell, like I said, we all want to do a podcast, some form or the other. And, it all kind of sprang from this Bruce Campbell podcast. Now, all four of us have our own shows. Bailey and I have Cult Talk Conspiracy, which comes out every other Tuesday. And Eric and Ben have Cult of Lore. It comes out the first and third Thursday of every month. And we are making this week is a Cult of Campbell anniversary week. Tomorrow you can hear a special episode of Cult Talk Conspiracy. It's the third and final part of Bailey's Deceptively Dead series, where we're talking about the mysterious death, or maybe not, of Elvis Presley, which is going to tie really nicely in Bubba Ho Tep.
It really will. I don't know if it's going to be the final part of Deceptively Dead, because I thought of like two more. Yep,
the third part. It's part 3 at least.
I'm like, wait a minute, hang on. I don't know if
no franchise survives past the third one. Not a one.
Hey.
And Cult of Lore, as we mentioned, you guys have an episode coming out this Thursday, the 18th.
Yeah, it's going to be the
what's that episode?
First ever cult crossover.
Yep, that's right.
So we're going to be reaching into the Campbells. The Evil Dead to look at Necronomicon.
Yep.
Yes.
So we'll be kidnapping Ty and taking him out to a cabin in the woods to record it.
Oh.
Yeah.
We've talked about doing crossovers for a long time. I didn't know that it involved violence.
Yes. Yep. That's the only way to get them. Yeah. Violence is the only way to get anything done. If you have an agenda you want to achieve, you must enact violence, and that is a direct quote.
This is not what I thought.
Use representative of
anybody.
But without further ado, guys, let's talk about this movie we all love, that I had the joy of showing you guys for the first time. Let's go ahead and let's talk about Bubba Ho Tep. Let's get groovy.
Grab your boomstick and fire up the Delta. It's time for ACTION. Join the Cult of Campbell. Groovy.
And if you're lucky a little later, I'll let you play with my boomstick.
Bubba Ho Tep, 2002. I think it's going to be... Ben, what did you think of this when I first told you that I wanted to watch Elvis Presley fight a mummy in this movie? Were you apprehensive about what to expect with this movie?
I honestly couldn't tell you what I expected out of this movie. I've heard of it before, so I kind of had an inkling that it was maybe a little bit more than your standard, like, alien invasion, or what was the one where they were in the airport?
Terminal invasion.
Terminal. Yeah, terminal invasion. Or
yeah, terminal.
That one's not getting a revisit anytime soon.
No. So I knew it was going to be more than that.
Okay.
But I honestly had no idea what to expect on this going in.
Yeah.
And boy, howdy.
What about you, Eric?
So for the longest time in the lead up, the premise didn't stick in my brain. And I think that's because it was so damn ridiculous.
Yeah, I do remember you asking about it again. It's
like, what is it? What did you think this was about again? Like, I think I was in just denial about it for a while. So I couldn't quite, and it's just like, and of course it's like, all right, this sounds really, super B movie. Retired Elvis fights a mummy. Sure. So I was a doubter. I was a doubting Tom. I was a doubting Thomas going in. I really was. I was just kind of like, all right,
doubting
fine.
Thomas.
Doubting Thomas.
Yeah. Doubting Tom is not.
That's not a thing.
Not a thing.
No, they didn't. It wasn't like Pauly.
It's a doubting Thomas.
Yeah.
But, I saw the wound in the side of Bruce's ribs. It was there, after he fell down the hill. It's true, so it's like a touch the wound.
Oh my God! There's your metaphor. There's the Jesus. There's the Christ metaphor. There's the Christ metaphor right there. Boom!
How's that?
Damn, he got it in there. He snuck it in. Snuck it into the Bubba Ho Tep. Damn, got that in there. Wow,
you're welcome.
Love it.
Didn't even have time to register it.
It's like a highbrow game of Where's Waldo?
Yep. No, where's the Christ allegory?
Spot the Christ allegory.
If we ever want to get 2 books, that would be our first. Like, we can make a kids book. Spot the Spot the Christ
Spot the
allegory.
Christ allegory. There we go.
It'll be an Easter book.
Yeah.
It'll just be like, movie themed.
Shit.
Oh, that's actually a really good idea. We need.
No.
Oh, if only we knew somebody who was good at drawing.
Oh yeah,
Evan.
I know.
get right on that
I know. You can DM him and ask him.
Yeah, I'll be very
I'll let
interested
you know when I work up that kind of nerve.
Bailey, did you watch this the first time, or is this the first time you watched it? Okay,
yeah, I did watch it with you the first time.
So what do you think the first? Because you weren't on the original episode, Bubba Ho Tep. So what did you think of it the first time you watched it? What was your memories from watching it the first time?
Originally, Ben told me that Bruce Campbell just played Elvis and that it was an Elvis movie.
Okay.
So I thought I was getting into like
That
the
is
Elvis in Hawaii movie type level.
what I said was 100% factually accurate.
Accurate, yeah.
He was right. But this is also the same man that left me alone to watch the end of Turner and Hooch by myself and didn't warn me about the ending.
Ooh.
So
Hey, listen.
There's
sometimes-
that.
Sometimes you gotta go take a nap.
Yeah.
yep, and just not tell anyone you're about to be traumatized.
I mean,
Yep,
a
that's
lot
right.
of people found out the hard way too. Okay.
Oh,
Not
really?
the point.
My parents didn't tell me when I first watched that movie.
You're a kid.
Yeah, I can see where you as an adult would be much more vulnerable to the fake ending of the Point taken.
Got her. Damn.
He did. Damn it. That still wasn't okay though. So yeah. No, but I was actually you were still living in Chillicothe at the time, so we went over to your house, and I was actually.
we watched this at your Frost House.
Was it Frost House?
Yeah, I'm fairly certain it was Frost House. Yeah, I'm fairly certain it was at Frost House.
Are we sure?
I'm
I'm
fairly
not-
certain.
Either way, I remember working.
It was early enough. We typically would have been watching.
When I went through the group chats, it was at your place.
It was at our
yeah,
place.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain. You know what? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Me neither.
I was
that
gonna
was
say, I
13.
don't remember.
Yeah.
But
So
regardless,
take your word for it.
I remember working while this was going on. I think I was either working on something, and I eventually had to put it down because I was like, "What the hell is this?" So it caught my attention pretty quick.
Excellent.
It's not a movie that you can describe how good it is.
No, that's the problem with it.
It's a much more clever movie than you can possibly explain and have people believe it, I think.
Because
I think people will just believe you're trying to make it sound better.
Because no matter how much you explain, it's this really good movie about what it means to get old and what you leave behind, your legacy. But it's it all comes back to, but it's Elvis fighting a mummy, right?
It is emotional as well.
Oh, sure.
It's very emotional. When we watched it the second time around, I almost cried at the very last scene. I was like,
well.
I know. I love all as
Oh
well.
my god.
So you could remove the mummy entirely from this movie, right? And just have him and Black JFK, spoiler alert.
We're talking about highlights.
It's the anniversary. So
Yeah.
Yeah, people have already.
If you wanted to just put him and Black JFK in this dreary nursing home, right? And have them battling basically illness, make them more sick than they are, and just have that be the movie and make it serious, those characters still work.
Yeah.
Yes.
They'd still be compelling characters.
And that doesn't mean that the mummy's pointless or anything. That's just, those are well-constructed characters that have an interesting thing to say about a topic that can be taken outside of it, and it's still good.
Yeah, there's so much good. It could have been any generic mystery, I think.
Yeah.
They could have made it just any sort of mystery that.
So there's some interesting, me and Eric were talking about it earlier today. There's some interesting theme play with it being a mummy, because the mummy's representation of age and death and all of that. So it's kind of a physical embodiment of this thing.
I never really put that together. That's interesting.
That's
I never put that
why I'm
together.
saying this movie is a little bit smarter than you would initially think.
Do you think the preservation has something to do with it too?
Well, kind of that.
It's the perverse version of that, right?
Yeah, that hanging on by that weak little, and it's kind of an aged mummy too. He's got to keep feeding on souls.
I think it deals with the price of. So, at the ending, he said, he sees in the stars all is well, which is basically they're saying it's okay to pass on.
Right.
It's good. And I think the mummy kind of shows the cost for trying to exceed that.
Oh yeah.
That is fantastic. Yeah. Deep set, man. You're digging into it. You're going Eric level on this. Very interesting.
Beautiful.
I mean,
you're making it beautiful.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is because it's because of the moments where they just let Bruce talk.
Oh, I love anytime he gets the monologue.
Anytime you can get past the fact that he's talking about his pecker or whatever, if you can listen to what he's actually talking about, it's good stuff.
I remember
there's a lot of good stuff in that.
When we were at Bruce Fest, he talked about like when he first read the script, one of his big things was he read the script, and once he got past the first page where he's talking about his pecker, he asked the writer, he's like, "Do you see the pecker?" And the writer told him no, and he said, "All right." Because he was like, "I don't want to do it if you can see if you get it."
Yeah,
you see this.
I wouldn't want to watch it if you could see it.
Yeah,
the description of it is plenty.
Serves the purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, indeed.
Sure.
Yeah, because it's like it's crass old man talking about his pecker. I think that's all you need is like just that.
It is right.
Yeah,
everybody's seen one. It looks like a sad 80-year-old man with a big nose. Like, I mean, it's just ugly,
and it feeds in like it's funny and it's a recurring problem he's got, but it also feeds into that theme. It hasn't worked in 2 presidencies, and stuff like that. Like it's all every time he's bitching about that, he's really just bitching about getting old.
Yeah.
And he's kind of lost his purpose.
Yep.
He's feeling emasculated because this woman has to rub lotion on it.
Yeah.
And
she looks like she's going to throw up the entire time. Like, just blank face it.
Hey, I've seen people make that face when working in the ER.
Yeah.
Right. It is just this great little piece about just old people and the way they're treated. And they're kind of just like shoved out of the way and put in these like, because the Shady Rest, the old folks home is just this miserable, dank hole. And that's kind of the purpose. Like, people just kind of shove these people out of the way. Into
they have an iron lung in the hallway.
Iron lung in 2002. Incredible.
Yeah,
they shove these old people in this dank old folks home and they treat them like little children. And I mean that sadly that's how a lot of people get treated when they get old.
It is. It really is. And they get kind of like, his roommate at the beginning of the movie, that's the first time his daughter had been there was after that man had passed away since she moved him in because she was busy.
Yeah, she's busy.
She outright says it a little more coldly than, I think anyone else would. But in real life, that's kind of how it happens. It's like I'm too busy. Next month I'm busy.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Although she didn't seem like a particularly good person. She tried to throw away the man's Purple Heart.
Yeah.
Right.
No, but there are people like that.
There are. And they had very little time to build that character.
Absolutely.
She wasn't important.
Right. The theme, what she brought to Elvis's mind was the important part. Yeah.
So how did you feel watching it? Because we, did it feel any different watching it on a second viewing than did the first time?
For sure.
Did you enjoy it more or less seeing it again?
I think way more. Way more, because I'd already known like kind of what I was getting into. So I got to really pay attention to those details. Like I didn't notice the first go around that all around JFK's room is the mugshots of the people that assassinate or all of the people suspected in assassinating him. Because there will be an episode I hear on one of our podcasts someday soon about.
Oh, nice.
But I don't know. There's whispers in the wind. Anyway, but yeah, those were the kind of details that I love noticing. And then like just all of it, really.
I always enjoyed the look of JFK's room in general because it looks like you see Elvis's room, which is just such like a depressing, dank little space.
Well, yeah, because the government can afford to hook him up.
Exactly. Yeah, they had that hush money. Yep. You go into JFK's room and it's so presidential. It's got like the red carpet and everything.
The red phone.
Yeah, the red phone is there.
Phone.
Even the way they tuck JFK into bed after he falls versus how Elvis goes to bed.
3 people maneuvering his body into bed and tucking him in.
Doesn't even have to like actually do the movements.
although if I'm going to good faith Gary the people that work there, I bet JFK is a much nicer patient to deal with on the reg than Elvis is.
Probably.
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
So
and he probably brings some money in there.
That's their motivation, but if I'm going to throw him a lifeline in the ocean, then that'll be it.
Yeah. Oh, another interesting thing though, and it kind of also plays into the mystery of whether or not he's JFK, because he's really the only guy that I could think of who still had family that he had access to. He said the woman that calls herself my niece took me into town today.
Right. She visits takes care of him.
Yeah, so that might be why he seems more taken.
They
care
realize
of
that
at
people
the
are going to
nursing
come in
home.
and check on him.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's a reason to. There's something that fixes it up a little bit.
There's
whether or
the
not he's-
destruction.
Yeah.
They know that these people will care.
Yeah, because that would motivate him to make things look a little better.
For sure.
Yeah.
You know what? What's what's interesting about so JFK played by Ozzie Davis.
Thank you, Ozzie Davis. I was trying to find.
Fantastic actor.
And that was a good role for him.
You know what's funny? So he plays JFK in 2002. In 2004, he is the recipient of the John F. Kennedy Center Honors Award, which recognizes lifetime contributions to American culture. So he got a JFK award years later for
unrelated to this movie.
No, he didn't get like they weren't like, hey, you did
He
really
got an award for playing JFK.
Wow.
no.
JFK special place.
The Kennedy Center of Honors is for outstanding contributions to American culture because Ozzie Davis, he was there for I think Martin Luther King's like I Had a Dream speech. I'm pretty sure he was present for that. I mean, he is like a prolific actor and just like a philanthropist, from what I understand. So,
Although it was weird to see him in Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah, really weird.
That's funny.
That was a bizarre movie.
That was a
real
weird
bizarre movie.
Now, did I hear? Was it Bruce who said this? That the reason that he took this role was because was it his grandkids?
His grandkids were fans of Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Oh,
And that's what
wow.
talked him into taking the role of JFK. He was like, all right, how cool is that?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That was a good role because I mean he pulled probably the most emotional moment out of that film when his character passes. Like that's heart wrenching because that's
the president
the main
is soon
character's
dead.
last friend in the world that believed in him. That believed him. The last person who really understood.
Yep.
He sadly passed away only 3 years after this movie. He did a few more movies after this. Looks like he did some TV and stuff.
Ooh.
After
The
this,
Stand
but
was his best though.
yep,
The Stand.
yeah, he was in the Stephen King The Stand.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
cool. I still have to see that.
Oh,
You haven't
it's
seen the
really
original?
good.
No.
Oh, it's so
I
good.
need to see it.
Oh yeah. We gotta remedy that in a hurry.
Mhm.
That's a good show.
It's really, really good.
That new one can kiss my ass.
Yeah, the new one's awful. Yeah, so Ozzie Davis, I mean, he was like pretty prolific, and then he's in this movie talking about mummies sucking his asshole. So
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can tell he was having a lot of fun with
oh,
it.
absolutely, I bet they were having a blast. I mean, this is a small cast. I know Bruce talked a little bit at Bruce Fest about the guy that plays Kemosabe. I guess was an actual big deal back in like the old Western movies. He was apparently a big like Western stuntman.
That's cool. His death is boss.
Oh,
That was a good
asshole.
Yeah.
yeah, just going out, guns
click, click,
Guns
click,
blazing.
click.
clicking. Yeah.
And then he even clutches his heart.
Yeah,
Just like the old timey cowboys. Falls over dead.
and they make a point to say that he had his soul intact.
Yep.
Died with a soul intact.
And he died in the full persona. That's how each of those three died, was in their full persona
of who they believe they were.
Yeah. So
I always liked it at the end when Bruce is prepping for battle. He has Kemosabe's medicine bag or whatever. No, he has JFK's medicine bag. He has Kemosabe's mask he puts with him. Yeah, and he has purple heart with him. He kind of dons his little emblems with his fallen brothers. Like it's really cool.
Yeah, there's a big theme running through this movie about dignity and regaining or keeping it.
Right.
And
identity.
In the face of the end.
You're right. Going out fighting and
or at least maintaining, keeping who you keeping that part of you. Love it.
Yeah, and that's a big part of it too.
Anybody can latch onto.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's true, because it is something that we all kind of face.
Everybody does.
Yeah. What will we leave behind? Who carries on? Who's
and
going
also,
to carry on?
how will you carry yourself when it's your time to face that enemy?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Are you
who are you in the end? Yeah.
Will you maintain your dignity in the face of death?
Oh boy, that's a good point. Because as the Joker says, you don't really know a man until you're stabbing him.
Yeah.
But they are. Yeah, they are. They are faced with just the ultimate. Nobody can overcome this. Death, and who are they in the face of that? You're right. Oh,
and he even says he could have just laid there and died in that dank room. It's like he even gets his spirit back. His dick starts working when he finally starts to.
Oh yeah.
When he starts to get interested. He talks about you get interested in something and feeling alive again because he starts to feel he has a purpose finally instead of just laying in this bed rotting away. He starts to get a purpose. And his dick starts working. Everything he starts being. He doesn't use his walker. That's something you noticed at the end. He's not using his walker as much as the movie progresses. Whereas at the beginning, he has to have it to even get to the restroom. So, and
how satisfying was it when he told off that nurse?
Oh,
that's one of my favorites.
Here, you bitch.
I'll load my own pecker from now on. Yes, shut up. I still actually like her as a character, though. But God damn it, treat him with some fucking respect.
I am so shocked that's always surprised me. She doesn't die in this movie.
I'm glad. I'm actually glad she doesn't.
Yeah, she's not bad, but she's painted in this unflattering light for most movie. And you have the scene where she's going in the shed that goes really nowhere.
Oh yeah.
But maybe it could be she's a little more lively than they are. All things considered.
Yeah,
he's going for the easy prey.
Yeah.
Also, she's painted as antagonists as far as humans go, but even when he pops a boner in her hand, she handles that really well.
Right.
She pokes fun at him, and she doesn't berate him or make him feel bad about it. She gives a kind of half-hearted smile that she kind of understands what this means for him, even though she's kind of poking him.
Right.
But I think she comes out of that exchange looking really pretty well. So yeah, I'm glad they didn't kill her. I like her. It was just satisfying to see somebody get told what they needed to hear when they needed to fucking hear it.
My least favorite part of this movie is the fucking the coroner guys, the fucking guys take the
bodies out.
Hate those guys. I hate every scene with them in it. But I guess it does just show how dismissive they are, these old people. Because they are bumbling idiots, knocking bodies over and being stupid about it. But I always was the first time I watched it, I remember being they better not fucking cut to a scene of those dumbasses carrying Elvis or JFK.
Oh my god, no! If you'd have seen them do that to JFK or Elvis, I would have.
That would have been a whole different message.
Yeah,
that would have changed the message.
Oh my god! That's the kind of shit that modern Hollywood.
Absolutely.
That final degradation of your hero. They just can't resist that kind of shit.
No.
Yeah, not from characters like that. Because here's the thing. I get why they were in there because it did help to emphasize that point that even we see the caretakers really not caring about these people while they're still alive, and then we see the people taking the bodies away and not really caring about them even when they're dead, so it's okay, but that's not how people who work for a funeral would treat this sort of stuff.
They wouldn't
even.
Don't.
Yeah.
I mean, even if they are, don't fucking show me it happening in the JFK novel.
Not to the JFK body, no.
We got to watch these guys prepare for a fight that there's no way they could win.
Right.
Oh yeah, they knew that.
JFK, his death was meaningful. It took a minute to explore it. The music became serious. They knew when to not play for laughs. It's the direct opposite of Ash versus Evil Dead, who can't help but play for laughs. It's this is a good example of being able to do both.
Yeah, because it's just he even has his little line at the end, which isn't even played like a joke when he's the president is soon dead. It just fits with his character. He dies still believing that he's Elvis. I mean, he's JFK. He dies as the president.
They go out believing in who they believe they are.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, Elvis. Yes. Elvis salutes him as you do the president.
Yep.
Well, also Elvis was in the military, so he would have been.
Oh yeah,
the salute would have been actually official.
That's true.
So there's a reason for Elvis to salute.
Oh, and that might be a nod to who he really is too.
Could be.
Yeah, because an impersonator might not have thought that way.
What do you guys think of the all the flashback stuff? Because that's something I always found they did because they weren't able to use not one piece of actual Elvis.
Oh yeah,
footage.
That's very apparent.
Yeah,
even the movies that he's on TV are just generic war movies. It's not anything that Elvis was in. There's no real music. I mean, even when he's up on stage dance, it's just a drum solo, just generic drum solo.
They did everything they could to not show Elvis during the cuts.
Yeah, and even when they do the big flashback when he is Elvis, they shoot that so well where it's just they keep it tight on him. They're not, because obviously they weren't going to fill a stadium to shoot this scene.
There was supposed to be more to that scene, wasn't there? I remember Bruce talking about that.
I think I remember reading that scene was supposed to be much bigger.
Right. But there was another actor on another movie who relapsed or something. And so
that's
you know what I'm talking about?
Matthew Perry.
That was it. And so it screwed up the schedule with the Bubba Ho Tep stuff.
That's right.
Because I think Bruce was in a movie with him, right?
Yeah, he was in that that romantic comedy we almost watched one time, but we couldn't find it. Where Matthew Perry is the hero and Bruce is the dick husband of his ex-wife. We tried to find one time, we could not find it. But Matthew Perry relapsed. Matthew Perry relapsed, and they had to schedule some scenes that conflicted with Bubba Ho Tep.
I bet Bruce is not a big fan of Matthew Perry.
He sure as fuck
he was not. He was not. He talked about it at Bruce Fest, how
he basically told us to mind your decisions because it does affect other people.
Yeah.
It's kind of like his takeaway from that,
it is. I think it's a big shame that the Elvis company, whatever it is now,
right,
corporation. It's a shame that they didn't get on board with this, and I'm sure because what they did was just skim the premise and rejected it outright.
That log line, that's a rough log line.
It is a rough log line.
It's tired Elvis fights Mummy.
But if you were to get them to sit down and actually say, imagine Elvis portrayed this way, and you just give them the character beats and remove all the crazy antics, I bet they, that's a pretty deep. I mean, that's deeper than any fucking movie Elvis was in when he was alive. I'll tell you that.
Bruce talked about at Bruce Fest. He talked about Bubba, because was it Bubba Ho Tep we watched the first night where it went on for hours, Eric, or was that Evil Dead 2?
Oh, it was probably Evil Dead 2.
Yeah, because I remember. I think after that they started kind of giving him
speeding up more. Yeah. Although, god damn it, it's pause it all you want, baby. Just
because we watch
long form.
We can watch these movies at home. Tell me everything you want to say about this.
Because Evil Dead 2, we watched that the first night. And it went on for 4 hours. It was
great.
It was fantastic. Michael loved it.
I think they did. Yeah, I think they did kind of get after him about time, or maybe he just kind of was like, I don't want to take up that much of people's time. But
let the people leave as they need to leave.
Yeah, we can leave. Yeah,
but
nobody's handcuffing you there. Get the fuck out if you can't hang.
He talks about that one monologue he does where he's talking about his daughter. He talked about how he in his mind he was Elvis talking to his daughter, and he was like, I'd like to think that maybe Priscilla was to find this someday, and maybe she can find comfort in this. Might be what her dad would say to her if he had the chance. He talked about that.
See, that's why I'm I bet if somebody would have got in to explain to them and actually show them the script, or at least the dialogue, some of the dialogue, I bet you could win them over.
Wow.
Even the suits he wears. He spoke about the Elvis suits. Well, there's only one person in the United States that makes those suits officially. And they made the suits for him. He was only allowed to put them on, shoot the scene. They'd be taken off immediately and returned back to the maker. They couldn't keep them. Wow. They couldn't be left because they were so, I guess, invaluable. I guess.
What the fuck is it? He's like, it was custom made to fit me.
I don't get to keep it.
Yeah, they had to pay for it and everything.
The materials.
Oh yeah, maybe
it might be. But apparently they were made genuine by the person who did Elvis's suits, and it's the only person in the United States that's licensed to make those.
That makes it shows. Because those were really well done outfits. I didn't realize they were that well done. Because I just have never been that into, I don't know much of Elvis's.
They're beautiful suits.
Yeah.
I mean, just the detailing, the jewels and the jewelry and the just the beading work, the capes, all the capes.
So what is, Bailey, what's your favorite part or favorite moment in this movie?
Ooh.
Everybody just went, oh shit.
Yeah.
That's a hard one.
It is a hard one.
That is a really and
in the best way too.
Yeah, there's too many good moments to pick from.
Oh yeah, there's a plethora to pick from.
If you had to pick three, what would they be?
If I had,
it's easier.
Yes.
Number one, it's probably the saddest moment, but it is the most gratifying is when All Is Well pops up.
Yep.
I know. I know.
I'm glad you took that one because it'd be hard not to mention that.
Just because you get that, you kind of feel that moment of relief with Elvis as well. Okay, everything's good. Yeah. Second would probably be when he tells off the nurse. That was golden. I loved that. Third. Oh, this is inappropriate.
Do it.
Go for it. Go for it.
Is it when he gets the boner?
It is when he gets the boner.
That's very gratifying,
right.
So, I mean this in none of the wrong ways, but he just, when he's just so proud of himself.
Yeah. He has to have a second look.
Yeah. Good job, buddy. Good for you, man. Proud of you. Good job. Next.
Ben, what about you?
So I'll start from 3 and work my way up. Number 3 is the death of JFK.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's a moment where the film is incredibly intelligent in knowing not to make a joke, not to make it funny. Like, they could have made the mummy come back and, tackle him while he's like lamenting. They could have interrupted it in any number of ways.
Right.
But they didn't. They took their time on it and just let it really have some emotional impact. So that was fucking great. Number 2, I too am going to have to go with the boner scene, but I'm going to give it to the nurse because, like I said, it could have been very easy just to make her the antagonist the whole time. But they do give her that moment where she kind of connects with him as a human, and she does kind of understand that this is big for him. But she comes off looking really good in that, and so it made me care about this character that otherwise I would have wanted her to die in it. And because of that scene, I'm like, no, okay, so she's just kind of bored.
Yeah.
So that's nuance in a character that would be easy to forget nuance in. So that's good stuff.
That's fair.
And then the final one is the monologue that he does where he specifically asks at the end of it, he's like, would I be able to get all of that fame back if I wanted it? Would it even matter if I did? And a lot of movies don't go to that second question. They always limit, could I have got my fame back? But then this movie's smart enough for him, and he's old enough to realize that, you know what? Maybe it's him that's miserable. And he's like, if I were famous and I had all this stuff, would I still be this old miserable prick because it's me and because I've lost something, not because the show or whatever. So I think that right there, that type of asking that second question or going one step beyond what you would normally do is what tips this movie into being, I think, really smart.
I'm going to go with my 3. I'm going to say the music in this movie. Brian Tyler, amazing.
Good music too.
That
good
scene,
use of music too.
Oh yes.
Oh man, that scene where it's called the Hero's Walk is what they call it in the soundtrack.
Oh yeah,
when they come out in the hallway, man, I'm getting chills just talking about it. It gives me chills. It's just fantastic scene, so epic. It's just 2 old men strolling on a hallway, and it's so just grandiose and just it feels so big.
War movie.
Yes, Ozzie Davis as JFK. Because I mean, this as much as we harp on Bruce, this is not a one-man show. This is Ozzie Davis does fantastic. He's having so much fun. Like, I love it when they open up the drawer and it's got all the candy in it, and he's like, "Let's get decadent." I love that. And I like how committed he is to that. He is JFK, where he has everything. He leads back to that, sand in his brain.
Oh yes.
He's a very nice guy.
He talks about getting taken to the library by the
woman who calls herself my niece.
For her niece.
So great. And he says it so casually.
What is he talking about? He's chocolate dong. And he's like, well, it wouldn't be a chocolate dong. Although I guess now that I'm dyed, it would be.
Yeah, just like it's also offhand, but it's everywhere.
It's everywhere, yeah.
So good.
He constantly brings it back to that.
I just like that he said, can I call you Elvis?
Yeah.
He specifically asked him, can I call you Elvis?
Chocolate dog like that.
Oh gosh.
And I'd have to say, I don't know if this is the same monologue you were talking about or not, Ben, but where he's watching the war movie, start talking about how, it was all fake. He was, it was just pictures, and how the person on the screen is way more had way more courage than he ever did. And
I think that might be the one. Because then because that leads into the final one where he's like, I get to be what I always wanted to portray, what I always portrayed, what I always wanted to be.
That's gonna be my number 1 favorite.
That one. Where he does that monologue?
Yeah, where the monologue is where he's watching the war movies. I love that one.
I think me and Ty had the same number 1, that same monologue. That's a good one.
All his monologue. Bruce monologuing would probably be just in itself one of mine.
Yeah.
I hope he's proud of those monologues. They were delivered well.
He's very proud of this movie. He talked about it a lot at Bruce Fest.
He should be.
Yeah.
I consider this to be his best.
Proud of about this. Yeah.
I think this is Bruce at his best.
Just for a second, talk about his Elvis accent in this as well, because he does it very smoothly. That sort of twang.
I forget that it's Bruce. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
the makeup, the voice, everything. He just he is Elvis for this hour and a half. He's Elvis.
Just totally immersed into it.
And the moment that I realized that, like, that it actually clicks in my brain is my third favorite moment in the movie when he's going down that hill, that stupid
oh my
hill.
God, yeah, that gives Eric an anxiety.
It gives me the willies because it's just so realistic. It's like I can see my own grandfather like trying to navigate down this like slightly steep hill, and it's like, oh my God, I'm on the edge of my seat for that just because it's this old man going down a hill. And I was like, that's it. That's what's so special about this character is like, I don't see Bruce Campbell in it. I just see this old retired Elvis. He nailed it. So second favorite moment, second favorite thing about this movie, I'm just going to pick a scene between Jack and Elvis because their chemistry was fucking awesome.
Yeah, every time they were on screen, you're like, why aren't they on screen more?
Yeah. Seriously. So when they were in their room, like plotting and doing the investigating stuff and, the let's get decadent, like that whole scene has got to be second because it's those guys, man.
I almost wish there was more plotting scenes.
Oh, definitely.
Them doing more investigative, like sleuthy stuff and preparing. Like
I would have liked to have seen a scene where maybe Elvis gets to go to the library with him.
Maybe they both got taken to the library with the niece. That would have been and see then you would have given them some like interaction with town and seeing like more people just brush them off or ignore them.
Right.
Or belittle them or like how cute, condescending shit.
Yeah, could have built on that. And then the first favorite thing about this movie for me is like that scene between him and his roommate's daughter. Because that premise, like that's the inciting incident really for the movie is the friend, this guy dies and he starts contemplating his own mortality. It sets up the premise for this movie just so well in such a meaningful way. It's like, she doesn't even get it. She's not trying to protect her modesty or not. She doesn't give a fuck. Like I'm a cat in the room to her, basic for all that matters when she's like bending over to pick stuff up.
Oh yeah. Yep. He's like, I have no physical threat to her whatsoever.
And it's just like, it really helps you feel just like him just slouched in this bed, just so useless and done. And time's just zipping by. And the only landmark he's got is this guy dying and the
But he's not going to like, what's so good about him is he still has some of that in him because he like when she throws away that purple heart, that's like it. He's like, he doesn't like yell at her or anything, but he's like, that's his call to action.
Yeah, it really is. Cause he's like, he was proud of that.
It's like, is that what you're going to do with it?
Like he's watching this legacy get tossed away and, so it was, you're right. It was this call to action right there.
As much praise we give this movie, no movie's perfect.
Nope.
Can you guys think of any gripe that you would have with this movie?
Yeah.
Ben, you're very vocal. What's your gripe?
Bugs.
You don't seem to have strong opinions on much. So here's your chance. Here's your chance to finally cut loose and let us know if you have any.
Really let it happen.
So I took a lot of time up with the Ash versus Evil Dead thing, but I'll just say the bug stuff was fine, not necessary. It didn't really lead to anything.
I was confused that one part always confused me. Does Bubba Ho Tep turn into a bug?
Right. That's the thing is it just seems to be like a thing that happens around. Yeah, we don't. There's no real reference. Once he fries it, it's never brought up again in any real way.
Because when Bubba Ho Tep kills the old lady in the room, like it almost the way they cut it almost seems like the bug turns into Bubba Ho Tep.
Right, but then when he kills the bug, it has no like impact whatsoever.
Right, and they talk a lot in the beginning about scuttling. That's like something they always talk about too. Is like it scuttles.
Yeah. So I would have preferred they just drop the bug thing and use that as more character development time. Show them doing more stuff.
Probably played just for that action set piece they have in it. That's like really its only purpose. It's for Ellis like do something. Yeah,
could have brought in the mummy sooner. Yeah, so there's my bugs.
Then he needed that period of time of disbelief to be talked into it by JFK.
Yeah, but how hard would it have been for him to see like a mummy wandering the halls or like you have a theoretically unlimited amount of people for that thing to kill.
Right, that's true. That's true. That he could have partially witnessed and stuff as you go. And I see what you mean.
Yeah, so that's my gripe. It's a minor one.
Any other gripes?
If I'm nitpicking, I wish we could have seen like a montage of JFK and Elvis collecting the supplies for their battle.
A little extended montage.
He's able to collect a lot, and he's even able to be like, yeah, I stole this or I snatched this while so-and-so wasn't looking. So it's like, I would have liked to have seen those moments.
Yeah. You could have done it with the music in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's what my like one critique, but that's really if I'm nitpicking. It does well without it either way.
Yeah, you do have to really nitpick this movie to find a gripe, huh? I think if I just had to pick something, and again, it's super nitpicky, I wish that Kiwasabi's body hadn't have been the one, like the last one that we saw get like kind of dropped in the bushes and stuff. Because I kind of thought they were going for something that like mimicked like what happened to their soul. Like, you know, because the first couple had been soul sucked.
Right.
And then so they were kind of, forgotten or whatever. So it kind of, you know, it made some sense. And I thought that's what they were going for, was like, all right, they're in the non-existence land, so they just truly don't matter now. And this is a visual way to show that. But then they did it to Kiwasabi, who like explicitly kept his soul intact.
And was the first one to have like a hero's exit.
Right.
Yeah.
So it didn't really, he just didn't make sense to be that disrespected in death, I guess. Even given what they are going for, like with everyone being forgotten and stuff. And maybe it just makes it, maybe it serves to make it that much more important that Elvis is holding on to something of his.
That makes sense,
maybe.
yeah.
So I'm nitpicking.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really too much other than nitpick. Probably the pacing of the final battle where, you know, Elvis and JFK split up and they're kind of just rolling around this, very obviously just rolling around a yard.
Yeah.
Looking for Elvis. The pacing, that's a little off. That's the one part that always, every time I watch it, I'm always kind of like, you know, on my phone or something like that until the mummy pops up. Because it's just the pacing is just weird. Like you can tell what more can you do with a guy in a walker and a guy in an electric scooter? So I mean, but I mean that's the only thing. That's the only thing I have until, you know, JFK finally, you know, clashed with the mummy. Then that everything picks up. But that little bit is just kind of, the pacing is just odd until
I forgot. No, man. Like, damn, my favorite part of this movie.
Okay.
Top favorite. Fuck, when JFK rolls up.
And he's got that look on his face.
Yeah, that look on his face when he rolls up to confront Bubba Ho Tep. and Elvis is on the other side with his karate move. But that look on his face, on Jack's face, is just, I love it. That old man.
He was gonna fuck him up.
Yeah.
He's not fucking around no more.
Not fucking around. That is why Bubba Ho Tep walked away for a moment. It's kind of like, you're watching him like, why did he walk away? And it's like, that look. I would walk away from that look.
Just got stared down by the president.
Yeah.
Bruce talked at Bruce Fest about Ozzie Davis and how crazy it is that Ozzie Davis has met both Elvis and JFK in his real life.
Holy shit.
Here he is playing JFK.
I'm sure. I bet he loved this.
Oh,
movie.
that's
I
awesome.
guarantee that he has a good time. You could tell.
Definitely can.
I think we can
tell
ask
everybody in this.
we can ask the big question here before we close things out. The big question, I think we all have in our minds: should there be cuts made to the 1998 Saving Private Ryan by Steven Spielberg to better fit the narrative that Harrison Young as Bull in this movie is actually Ryan from Saving Private Ryan?
Fucking kill you.
Now, I think we all probably have different opinions on.
Wait, what? What the fuck?
That's what everyone's thinking.
No,
Surely.
no, it is not what anybody's thinking. Bailey doesn't even know what you're talking. Okay, so
I'm like, who are these people?
so the guy the actor that was the guy that died and had the Purple Heart,
Right.
Uh-huh.
That is the actor that plays old Ryan.
Oh my God. That is
They
great.
would not have done that to Private Ryan. They would not have let him die like that.
That great big family all abandoning him in the end.
I think if Steven Spielberg just made some tweaks to the Saving Private Ryan, it would fit better into Bubba Ho Tep.
What tweaks would you have to do?
They would not let him die like that.
Change
There is
it.
no
You
way.
erase his family from the background so that he went to the tombs by himself.
Yeah, it ends with him being wheeled into Shady Rest.
Oh God!
Hey,
No.
Pop, we got a new placer. We'll come by and see you here soon. And then they just it pans around to Shady Rest.
No, but I think that's how you could set up a sequel. That's the only way you could set up a sequel.
How do you set up a sequel to
It's
that? They're
now
all dead.
Private Ryan who's facing a new undead thing to protect Shady Oaks.
He's
he
dead.
learns about.
He
It's not
died.
even Shady Oaks. It's
Wait,
Shady
no, it
West.
can't be the guy. It can't be the roommate. It has to be somebody else.
But that's who it is.
Damn it.
That's who the actor
Yeah.
is.
We can't
See,
do
this
it.
is how
Oh,
bad
it
of
is
an
the same
idea it is. You have to
actor. Yeah,
warp
got it.
reality to
Yeah.
make it work.
Yeah, Steven Spielberg has to make some cuts. He's done it before.
Oh, I wish I could physically assault you, Ty.
No, he doesn't.
The real question, is this Elvis or not? What do you believe in your heart of hearts? Is this character actually Elvis, or is it just Sebastian Haff?
Oh, it's Elvis.
Yeah, I was going to say, who's going to answer first?
Oh, it's
really.
Elvis.
Okay, Bailey's insisting that it is Elvis.
I'm
It's Elvis,
also agreeing it is Elvis.
Your team Elvis.
Listen, the proof is in the pudding, because in the scene where Sebastian Haff and Elvis switch places, Sebastian Haff is eating his lunch and has that little bit of chili or whatever it is.
Pie. Blueberry pie.
That's that's a fantastic little piece they put in there. I love that attention to detail.
But also he was in a coma for several years.
Yeah.
Well, then he doesn't. The other thing I love about that scene, Elvis comes out of that meeting with the pie on his face, and also he reaches open the door himself, and his crony has to stop him. No, King, I got you.
No. Let me open the door.
Yeah.
It's Elvis.
You go.
Okay, I am gonna fence sit and say it doesn't matter.
Oh, Ben, come on.
Fucking serious.
Okay, of course it doesn't matter. That's true, but
do you think in the context of the film that it's Elvis or not?
Is it Elvis?
You're right.
I'll tell you why I refuse to let my brain answer this question is because I think the ambiguity of it is part of the cleverness.
Oh,
yeah.
So if there's more evidence, in my opinion, to support him being Elvis than not. One of them, the flashback scenes, he's an unreliable narrator, so discount those. But like the saluting the president, that could.
Yeah.
There are some things that hint him to being Elvis, but I think for me to try to lock in that answer robs a lot of the point of the movie.
Okay, that's fair.
So I don't want to.
No.
So, Eric, what are you going to say?
So I actually do agree with you, like wholeheartedly. It doesn't matter. That actually is part of the point, like you said, because like you need that doubt to establish like how important identity is and the choice of identity, right?
Of choosing one at the end of the day.
So I guess in the spirit of that, I'm going to choose to believe that he's Elvis. Have I? Yeah. This
Fair
seems reminiscent.
It does
of our last. Yeah.
I said originally yes to Elvis, which if you wanted like the gun to my head style answer, I would say that he is. But but I think to lock in one is to kind of miss the point a bit for me.
Well, that was our little discussion on Bubba Ho Tep. So I think we'll go to the next segment here. Let's talk about the quality of Campbell.
Good, bad. I'm the guy with the gun.
For 2 years, we have been talking about Bruce Campbell. Can you believe it, guys?
No.
2 whole years. And you want to know another factoid?
Yeah.
We've been doing this for 2 years, but we've stretched over 3 years. 2001, 2002, 2003.
Oh, yeah.
2023, sorry. Bubba Ho Tep has popped up every year we've done a Bubba Ho Tep episode somehow. In 2021, we did, of course, the inaugural Bubba Ho Tep.
Sure.
2022, Eric and I for Culttober last year did Bubba Ho Tep versus Army of Darkness.
Oh, yeah.
And here we are, 2023, doing our Bubba Ho Tep revisit. Every year, that's how much we love this character. Somehow, some way, we found a way to get Bubba Ho Tep.
We want more excuses
on the show
to talk about Bubba Ho Tep.
Well, we do have another excuse. I'm just saying, we have the book. We haven't read the book, so.
Oh yeah.
So
okay.
We actually
there is our way of fitting him into year 4.
Oh, yeah. We got to wait till 2000.
Yeah,
24
for next year. Year 3, 4.
Year 3. Yeah, maybe our 3rd year, but our 4th. Span over 4 years, but that could be our end to get Bubba Ho Tep on again.
Nice. We love it so much. Ty, what did Cult Talk Net get you for Christmas this past year?
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you guys, everyone, Cult Talk Net got me Bubba Ho Tep McFarlane movie Cult Film Legends.
It was kind of tough to come by, honestly.
It was
It is hard to come by. I was looking for it for a long time. Couldn't find it anywhere. I had it once. I had it once years ago, and it broke. And I don't know what happened to it. I remember it fell off, and arm broke, and I don't know what happened to that. So, but yeah, I had it years ago, and now I have it again. It's in my Bruce Campbell collection shelf. So I'll have to show that off sometime.
So
on
it
YouTube.
is definitely a big part of this show.
Oh yeah,
definitely. Bubba Ho Tep. It's movie I think we talk about a lot on random episodes. It gets brought up quite a bit.
Oh yeah, it's brought up as kind of the gold standard.
It's been quoted before in different episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So in the previous episode, the original Bubba Ho Tep episode we did back in 2021, it became our very first Certified Groovy, which meant everyone on that episode voted it groovy. Bailey, you were not on that episode. So what do you rate Bubba Ho Tep?
It's a really hard decision for me. But I think I'm going to have to go with groovy. Groovy all the way around.
Yeah.
Everyone gets the groovy.
Certified Groovy.
It truly is just a masterpiece, like in all of the best ways. Because like it has a beautiful story that you can break down. The characters are very entertaining. Bruce is completely immersive, not only into his character, but so much so that it brings the audience in. Same story with JFK. Like it makes you care about some of these characters that you only have brief interactions with, which you don't see a lot in modern day films today. So it's very refreshing to see that. And also it's fantastic, phenomenal, spectacular writing as well.
Absolutely. Bubba Ho Tep will go down as one of I will have this movie for my entire life. Like this movie means so much to me. I can't even put it into words. In every sense of the word, one of my all-time favorite movies. I can sit down and watch it anytime, and it just makes me feel so good to watch it, and it just means a lot to me. It's a movie I can't even put into words how much this movie means to me. It is just an end-all, be-all film for me, especially when you talk about Bruce. I love this movie so much. Can't say enough good things about it.
How does it rank compared to the Mario movie for you?
It's higher than the Mario movie. Just copies of Bubba Ho Tep are more expensive than Mario. So.
That's fair.
You do have a very fancy copy.
I do have 3 copies of it though. I have
you have a very fancy copy of Bubba Ho Tep.
I have the DVD.
It should be more expensive. It's a much better film.
Yeah.
It really is.
I have the DVD. I have the special edition DVD with the Elvis Presley suit on it. I have the Scream Factory Blu-ray, and I have on pre-order the Ultra 4K, the UHD 4K special edition that's coming out.
Nice.
So I'll have 4 copies.
Awesome.
I don't know if it got put on VHS, but I'd love to have on VHS if it did. I think it may have. It might be straight on that line. I can't remember. Yeah, I love this movie so much.
I bet it was on VHS.
Probably 2002.
I'll have to look online. It may be. I also have to check. I think 2004 is when they stopped doing VHSs.
Yeah, I know, right? It's just right there on the cusp.
Yeah, the last VHS movie ever put on VHS is that like Viggo Mortensen movie, Acts of Violence or whatever.
Oh, really?
That's the very first. That's the last film ever wide released on VHS. Because there's companies now that specialize in VHSs. So.
Ty, I am very grateful to you and the Cult of Campbell simply because I don't know if I would have watched this movie otherwise. Like if we weren't doing this, I don't know if I really would have come across this movie. So that right there is something to be super grateful for. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. Doing these podcasts has led us into all kinds of cool shit that we would never have been part of. So that's always the big gift of doing something like this.
Right.
Yeah. Cult of Campbell. It's one of those shows where you get some good and you get some bad, and it's like a box of chocolates, you know? You never know what you're going to get. It is an adventure.
It's an adventure. Yeah. It's an incredible adventure with some pitfalls. And alien apocalypses.
And apocalypses, which Alien Apocalypse was a certified groovy, so it is eligible for a
revisit.
I wasn't part of that.
I would love for Ben to watch that.
Yeah,
Ben, I would love to watch that, but I'd want to do it like we have a movie night and watch. That's the only way to watch.
Yeah, we have to recreate those.
That's the only way to move. That's the only way to watch that movie.
It was fun to watch it together.
Urs put it perfectly. Urs called it a social movie.
Yeah,
it always stuck out to me. I remember Urs in his final words saying social movie. It made so much sense. I watched it a couple days before I actually watched it with you guys, and I was like, "Why the fuck did I watch this? I have to rewatch it in a couple days." I was like, "Oh god damn it, I gotta watch this again." And then we all watched it together, and I could not have had more fun because it's one of those movies. It's so fun to just point and laugh and point out all the dumb shit, but at the same time,
I'm gonna have to like rail Excedrin like cocaine.
Well, what it is though, it's a bad movie, but like in the center of it all, it's just Bruce giving it his all, like just being Army of Darkness Ash in the middle of all this. Like he's not giving a shit. Like it's all this like cheap stuff and bad acting. But Bruce is just like full 10 for whatever reason. He's just cranked up to 10, just doing his shit. And it's such a fun experience. But yeah, we'll have to do that again because it is eligible. My next thing is to try to get the joystick guys. I've became pretty good friends with them over line. And my next thing is to try to get them to Tom, Scott, and Drake, and we'll try to get them to watch Bubba Ho Tep next. So. Gonna send this flick over to Hawaii is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
They're such fun guys.
But I won't have to, luckily, because you can get this movie for free anywhere in the world on Tubi culttalknet.com using the code CultTalkNet for an exclusive free lifetime membership.
God, how long are you going to keep this?
Hi. People are going to be like, where do I input the code? Like, you can't do this to people.
No, what we've done is once you listen to this, we have actually taken the initiative to embed ourselves into your phone. We've extracted your email address. We've taken the privilege to do this. You don't do anything. We've extracted your email address. We've registered it. So now all you have to do is put your email in and create a password. It's already you're already free.
Don't comment about this. We will have no choice but to make fun of you. Please don't do that to us so that we don't have to do that to you.
Yeah, just
don't comment on Ty's fucker.
Take advantage of this once in a lifetime experience to have thousands of movies at your fingertips for free, thanks to Cult Talknet and Tubi. The mega partnership.
Tubi is pretty dope though. Like Tubi does have a lot of really good stuff.
Tubi's amazing.
Tubi is nice. This is one of the better streamers.
Less we're more like parasites on its back. Yes, give us the content to talk about. We love your movies.
Well, it's crazy. It's like movies we can't find. Like I'll be like, we can't fucking find this movie. And then like someone reached out to me very recently. It was like, hey, Lunatics, it's on Tubi. Yeah. And I was like, what the fuck? It's on Tubi? Like it's just there? And like, sure enough, it was there. And
it had like a limited run in freaking Australia, right?
Yeah, and we can only find it on VHS in Australia, and we had to watch it on YouTube in Spanish.
Yeah.
Fucking on Tubi.
I don't know why you guys even fucking
Oh my God. No, that was so interesting because I took 2 years of Spanish and I can't speak a fucking lick of Spanish.
Well, yeah.
I did terribly in that class. I had no idea what the hell was going on as far as words went, but it was a really interesting way to watch a movie.
It was.
Just how you started you had to focus in on something like the shots and just the body language and stuff like that, trying to guess the plot. Got really attached to an inanimate object along the way, that potted plant.
Yeah,
you did the same thing with a Jeep one time.
With a Jeep? Yeah, those were completely different circumstances.
Those were entirely different circumstances.
No, a lot of people actually learn different languages by watching like TV shows and movies in Spanish. That was when I was like,
maybe they should start showing Lunatics in high schools and Spanish classes.
I don't know.
Might be a nice curriculum.
That wasn't what I said.
They can pair that and Dora the Explorer together in kindergarten.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. Some Dora, some Ted.
Yeah.
What could be better?
What could be better?
Oh, it's got Ted in it.
Yeah. It's Ted's starring role. It's Ted's lead. Yeah. It's his only like feature lead.
God, whose soul to Satan did he sell that?
I mean, Bruce gets to torment him in it. So.
Yeah, Bruce is in a couple of roles, but it's a Ted flick.
It was another excuse for them to torment Ted.
Yeah, basically. Man, for 2 years, this podcast has taken us from having one podcast. Now we have 4 or 3. Yep. We have 3. We might have a 4th one on the way here. A couple months. We have our own network. We have followers. We have fans. We have people we interact with on a very
tens of fans.
I can count the fans in my phone now. I have fans I'm on a very personal level with now who love this show, and it's so cool. I'm in a Discord where people just talk good things about our show, and it's fantastic.
We need to eventually mosey our asses on over there at some point.
Yeah, listen to Cult of Campbell's Tales of the Cult. There's some great people in there.
Oh yeah, that was super fun. Talking to some hardcore
Freck, Ashley, Jackson, Ben, just cool people. There's people I talk to on other levels that aren't on the show, but I've made some great friends through this podcast.
What a beautiful way to connect as well. Like on things that we're all passionate about and that we love. Because I mean, there's too much that people like to focus on that are negative.
Yeah, as much of a as much as this,
they are so friendly. They're that
was a cool thing.
People that know who they're talking about.
that was like the coolest thing when we went to Bruce Fest. Like everyone was just there. Like he was friends with everyone. Like automatically, it wasn't awkward. There was no little awkward moments. I mean, it was just so fun to be there. And we made some great friends. This show took us from just me personally being a kid that liked Bruce Campbell movies to fucking meeting Bruce Campbell. Like it's just because I wanted to start a podcast to talk about Bruce Campbell, and you guys were gracious enough to agree and put up with me throwing random ass movies at you guys. And
that's why I think we could get on stage with Kurt Russell.
I've said it from day one. If it's a niche, you can do it. trust the niches. That's where it is.
Niches.
So does that mean we're going to go to Alien Con for conspiracy?
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, one person I also wanted to shout out, talking about, Campbell fans, Julianne from Wyoming, who was just the coolest fucking person. Remember her, Eric?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I could not forget.
We literally met Julianne. Like, we had just got out of the car.
That was day one. Yeah.
Day one. Like, we were there for like maybe 10 minutes, and she sees us kind of looking around, like in awe of everything. And she's like, hey, guys, you want to see the car from Evil Dead? And she fucking just takes us to the car from Evil Dead. And then all weekend, we were just there with her, and she took Eric up and showed him the rooms and the Stanley. She was staying at the Stanley. She was just there with the whole weekend. She came to the live show. Got up early, come to the live show to see us. Just the coolest chick, and I can't wait to see her again. I still talk to her pretty regularly.
Good. Because she did. She immediately just kind of like, she took us right under her. I think you know how I look when I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah, I think
was just looking around, lost.
Yeah, and her motherly instinct kicked in. She's like, I got to keep an eye on this guy. This kid could break any second.
Yeah, and she was the one who took Ty down in the trivia.
Yeah, she was. She was the one that got me.
She's the only one who could do it.
Yeah, I was happy to give her the gift card. So.
Oh yeah,
much love, Julianne.
No, she was amazing, and just she was really cool to talk to too. She had so many cool stories, like about her crazy life and Bruce Campbell and all sorts of crazy.
Yeah, we had dinner with her that one night. We had dinner with her and got served food by Bruce Campbell and Ted Raimi. That was
Campbell.
Whoa,
that was fun. Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was. Yeah.
You'd have to just get a stack of ones. Start pulling. Like, come on, Brucey.
But yeah, this show, as much as it is kind of a hassle to do, I mean, it's a labor of love. It really is. I mean, it's the only way I can put it, because we have other things. We have jobs. We have other shows. And sometimes we just have to try to squeeze in Cult of Campbell every now and then. And we make it work, because at the end of the day, this show it is fun to do. We've made a lot of great connections. And some of my favorite episodes are the bad movies we had to watch, because they're so fun to hear Eric react to them or Ben bitch about them. I love that's one of my favorite parts, is just hearing your guys' reactions to them. That's why sometimes I'll be like, hey, everyone, do this movie, and Ben, you have to be on this episode.
Oh yeah, that ain't no fucking secret. Whenever Ty has a movie, he's like, and I want these two people to, whoever it is, we're like, he's reaction farming is what he's doing. Stacking the goddamn deck.
I know. There's something in this movie that this person is going to react to, and I want to make sure it's recorded when they do. So. But Bubba Ho Tep, it was one of the first things we ever put out as under Cult Talk Net, and it is the very first Certified Groovy, and therefore it's only fitting that it is the very first inductee to the Cult Talk Net Cult of Campbell Certified Groovy Hall of Fame. It is not just, we talk a lot about quality of Campbell and what that is. This is not quality Campbell. This is essential Campbell. Yeah, because this movie is, you have to see this movie. I mean, even if you're not a Bruce Campbell fan per se, this is a movie that I think anyone could watch. Just give it a chance. You gotta get over that log line, but you will definitely feel something from this movie. You'll think it's just a beautiful film, and it fittingly so is our very first inductee. And there will be more to come this year. Even we have stuff lined up for Cultober and some stuff lined up that will find its way sharing the same place as Bubba Ho Tep.
Yeah, absolutely. But it sits as the number one, barring anything that Bruce might do that comes out in the future. Everything that I've seen, there's nothing that tops this as far as
absolutely
what he's got going on in it. There's just absolutely
a very fitting first, the Certified Groovy Hall of Fame.
Oh yes,
yeah, absolutely. And, it is the king.
It is the king. Hail to the king, baby.
Hail to the king.
Thank you guys for listening. Everyone who's listened to Cult of Campbell, who's listened to Cult Talk Conspiracy, who's listened to Cult of Lore, we thank you guys so much. Thank you guys, Ben and Eric and Bailey for joining, for letting me talk you guys into doing this, because it was so cool that we all have podcasts now that came from this little Bruce Campbell thing. And all the people that said, why would you start a podcast with Bruce Campbell?
This is why.
Why not? Yeah, why not? here we have this. We tried something different, and it paid off in the end. So
it did.
So thank you, Ty. Thank you too.
Indeed, oh wise possum.
Oh wise
great
possum.
And terrible possum. That is
Yeah.
Great and terrible
the great
possum.
and terrible possum.
This is why Ty is the pod god.
I knew someone was
That's what they call me. That's what they call me.
He is literally, guys. He is in my phone as the pod god.
Yep, that's what they call me. I've
That is not. There's no.
There was no.
that's what they call me.
It's not a they. No, there is a single
they.
He
person.
did this on purpose. He created a they by saying
Actually, the first person I ever heard call Ty the pod god was Michael.
That's because Ty.
Yep.
It was Michael.
Yeah, Michael was saying that Ty said that.
Now
that doesn't
no,
count.
no.
Michael called Ty the pod god independently.
Hey,
Michael,
listen, guys. I mean, at the end of the day,
That's it. Holy war.
at the end of the day, I'm just a guy behind a microphone. But who am I to say that a microphone in my hand isn't like a shining beacon of hope for an entire generation?
Fucking God.
Okay.
Who am I to say that? Who am I to say that? As just a mortal man.
Please, dear God.
I mean, you create.
No.
It'd be great.
my God.
An
There's
empire.
your business allegory right there.
Yeah, I did create an empire.
You did, well,
An empire.
I think the better term is world.
Okay.
Yeah.
The fire rises.
Yeah.
Ty, are you familiar with Caesar?
Much as I created Cult of Campbell, and you guys took upon my body and made your own.
Well, first of all, I didn't take upon nobody's body, pal. That's not what happened. I will.
But there we have it, guys. This has been a great 2-year way to celebrate 2 years of not only Cult of Campbell, but Cult Talk Net, because this, at the end of the day, is a team effort. We all contribute different things to this podcast network. I mean, we all handle our own stuff.
Not one of us has the skill to make it all work.
Right. No, not at all. I mean, this is a team effort. No one person can say that they are the sole person behind Cult Talk Net, because we all do. We share responsibilities. We do our own duty. We keep our own shows together, and we have a great team. Essie edits a lot of stuff for Bailey and I.
Our unspoken.
Oh yeah, the unsung hero behind the scenes.
Of course. Mike,
we will be having him on a show. Won't we?
Yeah. Mike edits the Cult of Campbell for me. He's taught Eric how to he's taught Eric how to do a lot of the stuff that he's gifted a lot of things on Eric. Eric can animate, he can edit. I mean,
Michael has basically made Cult of Lawyer be able to be self-sustaining, more or less.
But even still, he's part of the opening quotes of it.
The quotes, they wouldn't be anywhere near as good without Michael's efforts.
Michael does have a hand in every team that makes each.
He's always on.
But that's how a lot of us are. We're interlocking teams too.
And that makes for all of us having some very tired days.
Yeah,
it does.
What rewarding?
Rewarding. Yeah,
it's amazing to have gotten to the landmarks that we've gotten to. Like the fact that we at 2 years can revisit Bubba Ho Tep or like any of our cult. Because there's a few different movies that we can revisit, and to have hit this landmark is pretty incredible. Like when we first set off, my brain, I wasn't even thinking that far ahead in life.
I wasn't. No, I can't think of. I can't think of like what. In my mind, the lifespan of Cult of Campbell was, but I don't know if I ever saw it being 2 years plus. Because I mean, this by no means doesn't ending Cult of Campbell, because we've got stuff. We've got stuff planned far ahead. I mean, we got a couple of book reviews coming out. We got Cult.
He's going to continue to have projects.
Yep. He's going to keep working.
Have projects. So, I'll keep finding any minuscule reason to have a movie on this show to provide an episode from it. So
there'll be more like celebrations of Bruce out there, like Bruce Fest.
And if you want to see some examples of that, wait till Culttober's coming, because you're really going to have to think, what the hell does this have to do with Bruce Campbell? But it'll make sense in some way, somehow. I'll make it all make sense.
You'll find the tie.
Fast forward 2 years from now, and Ty's reading Campbell's soup labels.
One day, the Bruce Campbell commercial episode will air.
Oh yeah.
Eric's had that in the bank for a while. Eric's been working on that for a while.
working on it is strong.
Well, he's had a list made. Yeah, he's had a list made.
Custodian is close.
But thank you guys for listening. Thanks to all of our listeners.
Yeah.
All of you guys, talking here to my team. Thanks to anyone we've had on as a guest in any of our shows.
Yeah. You guys are so cool. Like
everyone who's ever been affiliated with Cult Talk Net, we're so thankful for you and all the work you've done. It's just something we love, and we're so happy we can do it. And it wouldn't be possible without people actually listening. Cult of Campbell will go on past 2 years, and we'll revisit Bubba Ho Tep for our 10-year anniversary. How's that?
My God!
There we go.
Years.
Yeah, we'll our 10-year anniversary. We'll hit Bubba Ho Tep again. So
there we go. There we go.
I doubt it.
Mark your calendars.
Yep.
All right, guys. I've been Ty.
I've been Eric.
I've been Bailey.
Make sure you guys. Oh, sorry. I'm interrupting you. Yeah. We got the bit in. Real quick. Make sure you.
Did you mean to do that?
I didn't. I thought I heard him say it. Make sure you follow us at Cult Talk Net across the board: Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, all the things. YouTube.com/Cult Talk Net. Go follow Cult of Lore on there. They do really great full video episodes that they put a lot of work into. Whatever you're listening to us on, all it be iTunes or Spotify or Google, whatever it may be, leave us a rating and a review because it will help us out a lot. And we'd like to see you guys' ratings. Let us know what you think. We're always looking for ways to improve. So if you have any critiques, by all means, let us know. We'll take it into consideration. Now we'll try it again. I'm Ty.
I'm Eric.
I'm Bailey.
And I'm Ben.
And until next time, stay groovy.
Hail to the king, baby.
That's it? That's the best you got?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.